All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll open the doors up. April 28th. Welcome to the trading room from tradingology.com. Good to see you guys. Coming to the end of April. The doors are opening up. We'll let you guys get in here. I'll get my charts adjusted up here. Looks like we got a nice little short happening here. I'm not in a trade currently, but I'm sure Dave will be talking about this once we get the mics on, because we have a fantastic little opportunity that's been shaping up here. We'll get you unmuted there, Dave. Good to see you.
Hey, yeah, it took forever to connect for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's when there's a bunch that join at one time, it sits here and I see it take where it says joining for a bunch of people.
Okay. Yeah, interesting day. We had a lot of good things to talk about.
Good morning, Greg. Greg's the winner in the trading room this morning, nabbing some nice profits early on before the open.
Nice. Am I entered into that competition? Can I compete?
Yeah, I think we should get a little mini competition going, even though we don't want people getting in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
That would be fun. I hand out gold stars, so there's that.
Well. Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, we started out pretty strong this morning, starting to fade on the internals, but how did Greg do this morning?
I believe Greg nabbed a $230 profit in the micros.
Awesome. Very, very nice. Yeah, so a little bit of a turnaround here. And interestingly enough, oil was down very, very sharply. Now it's up 4%. It was down 7%. Now it's up 4%.
Wow.
And the market went down. So there goes the correlation on oil and stocks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, the internals are really starting to, at least the issues are going down pretty strong here.
Yeah, whenever those make a big bar, that's rare.
Yeah, it is rare.
As we know, but yeah, it started up above and here it's big turning down coming. Also, Greg was trading, he started with 10 micros, so he's working his way to graduate into the full contract, so that's a good way to start, even if you're doing 10 and then scaling out. So good job, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sean and Alexander.
Zoom is interesting. I don't know. You couldn't make the Wealth Masterclass last Wednesday, but
yeah, I was just looking at that. I'm like, is there one coming this week? I'm like, oh, I missed one last week.
Yeah, it was last Wednesday.
Well, I'll catch that recording.
Zoom is interesting though, because I have a blue microphone and I had it turned off. I had the mute button on.
Uh-oh.
But it automatically picked up that my speaker on my computer was active.
Oh, nice.
And it switched over and I didn't even know it. And I'm thinking I went through about 20 minutes worth of the class and I said, oh man, I missed everything. And but when I heard the recording, it got everything. I couldn't believe it.
Well, sometimes it pays to have that artificial intelligence in the software, right?
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know if we can call that or not, but yeah.
All right, guys, look at this.
Oh yeah, I did see there was a couple questions related to the price signals and the numbers in here. So when you see the other numbers, so the main one for the strong market price signals down here that I'm looking at, which is on each of these charts, is the -150 is the current, what the bar is at. This other one that you see, the 26.4 that's lighting up, and we saw it a second ago, 16.8, those numbers are where the previous arrows were drawn in. So that's related to this arrow, the 16, and the 26.4 is related to this arrow. So that's where those numbers come from. I don't make any decisions based on where those numbers draw. It's just a matter of that is confirming that it's going to continue once that direction is moving. How exactly that algorithm is derived, Dave could dig into that one if he wants to. Or we can always take that one offline.
Yeah, no, I mean, what it does is it measures. The only thing that's not in there, I have to go into the source code to kind of take a look at it, but basically what you're doing is instead of using a moving average of the price and so forth, it actually does an accumulation total. So it's an accumulation of the price action.
Yeah, so the main one you want to focus on is that's the negative 162, 170 right now on the YM. Those are the ones that you're focusing on. The other numbers you can kind of ignore.
Yep, you want to see those going down. You want to see, number one, is it red across the board? Number two, is that number going down or not?
And let me know on your second question when you get there, Isham.
Isham, I am working on the script. You saw the screenshot that I did for the buy-sell signal. And now that I've done it for the internals, I have to move it over to the price signals. And what I'm going to do is create a price signals with the volume included so that we have something that we can use off hours. So it is coming though. It's coming along actually.
So you might have very well predicted his question, so we'll see. Unless he asked it to you separately. Maybe he asked you privately.
Maybe. I have a folder here on my desktop of scripts in progress, work in progress. I should take a look at that once in a while. I haven't looked at it in about a month or two.
See what your last work in progress was.
Let's see. I have to sort them by date. And an MT, it's a version 2 of the MT swing signal.
Oh, okay. That was when you probably created the version 1 and version 2s, and the work in progress just stayed there for a while. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Then the next one is a ratio, a beta study on a ratio script, which was the for the volatility arbitrage. That was the one I was working on. I never quite, I work on stuff, and then if I take some time off, I can come back with a clear head. So I kind of do that, and I get some insights when I do that. The third one is a trigger ROC trend study. That should be interesting. I think I'll go back and take a look at those three. But I'm so busy trading, sometimes I don't have time to go back and do those.
It's amazing how time gets away from you. There's so many things that are on the to-do list.
I know, and then the trading really starts to pick up, and then you're like, I got to trade today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the crypto world's bouncing up too right now.
Yeah, we got a little bit on crypto. We got finally XRP got above 20 cents, which is good. XLM has been on fire, and I'm not really sure the reason for that. It's been up 10%. One of the things that I've been looking at is the ratio of XRP to XLM, because XLM is based off of the same code. They made a number of changes to it, but they tend to track very similarly because they use the same consensus protocol. And so it's kind of interesting to see. It looks like sometimes XRP is stronger than XLM, and other times XLM is stronger than XRP. So it's almost like a little bit of a volatility arbitrage there going on. You can't short, I mean, at least in the United States, I don't know of an exchange where you could actually short any of these except for the Bitcoin contract. But,
yeah, interesting. I see Bitcoin's only up 0.5%, while XRP's up almost 6% right now, and Ethereum, 1.1%. So that's a nice move there.
Yep. Andre says, any way to do some technical analysis on XRP? Yeah, I have done a little bit of that. I'm doing it on the general market though, because there is no real differentiation, at least in the bear market that we've been in over the last couple of years. All the cryptocurrencies tend to move together. I mean, every once in a while you get a coin that pops. Like there was a there was some news on a cryptocurrency called Hive, and that went up like 50%. Well, today it's down 43%. So it's like, it's all over the place. But on the general market, I did a YouTube video on the technical analysis on the entire crypto market minus BTC. So there's, in TradingView, you can put in total 2, which is the total market cap of all the coins except BTC.
Oh, see, I thought maybe you designed that so that the total 2 is also in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there. It's part of the TradingView symbols. And so you can look at that and you can see because what led the last bull market was BTC, but a lot of times BTC has already gone up to like 13,000, 14,000 recently, right? A few months ago. And then it kind of dropped away. Well, typically after we get a run in Bitcoin, then you start to see the altcoins take off. And that's what happened in 2017, 2018. And it looks like, we're getting pockets of these altcoins starting to move higher without Bitcoin. So, we'll see. I think Andre, if you look at my last YouTube video at Cryptopolis, I'm using my Cryptopolis account for that. Let me see if I can get a link for it. You can take a look at that. That's my analysis on cryptocurrencies.
I got it pretty close here too. I can grab it.
Okay, great.
On the latest one you're talking about that you just did?
Yep.
Where you were very bullish?
Yes. It says bullish, very bullish.
I'll throw it in the chat right now.
Awesome.
There you go, guys. Sham's got number 2 on volume. Let me read this real quick.
Yeah, Isaac also pointed out the volume. Maybe we can take a look at that on ES.
Yeah, so in general, we'll just look at right now. I'll make this guy larger.
Andre says, so buy as much XRP as you can right now. Well, I mean, yeah, I am anyway. I don't know about you, but that's my strategy. I think it'll hit 26, 27 cents before it starts to pull back again.
Yeah, for watching the volume as these are building, like if you were in a short, ignore these lines. These are not today's lines. This is old legacy. This has nothing to do with right now. But yeah, volume is important. So when you have lower volume and it's going the other way, there's less of a thing. So yeah, you always want to watch this volume too. The opening's always going to have the most.
Yeah, Isaac mentioned 4:30. I guess that's maybe 8:30 your time. I don't see any other interesting volume. Is that unusual high volume for ES at that time? What was it yesterday at the same time?
Yeah, that's a little, usually it's below 10. So let me scroll back so I don't see the morning. Oh, no, that's normal.
Yeah. Well, no, that's, well.
It's normal to have peaks around that level. They can vary at different times. Sometimes.
How about yesterday at 8:30 at the open?
Yeah, we'll compare yesterday's here.
Oops, you passed it.
So here we see is right around 3:15. A little bit before that was the peak there. Then there was a closer peak getting closer to the open the day before. Because if I hover over, this is the 27th, right? Yep, this is yesterday. So 4:15 exactly. It's not always the exact same time of the day. So that's, yeah, we're looking at when those do happen.
Those aren't particularly large peaks, are they? I don't think so.
Yeah, especially when you compare during the day.
Yeah.
But when you look at when it does start, like look at midnight, we're even way down here at, really low, super low volume. We're in the hundreds. So that's why I wait and I look for the ones that are larger. Typically it's got, if there's no volume and there isn't any interesting spikes, that is a reason not to trade, because you just can't find a good, at least in this strategy. I will say that that's a sign for, you don't have a good, there's less probability if you don't have faith in those levels, and we can take other things into account. I think that's one of the hardest things that people have is force trading.
Right.
Where they try and get in because they see something, and that's when they get in trouble.
Yeah, patience is the most important aspect of trading. You have to have patience.
Yeah, if you ever force it because you think you're going to will it to go a certain way, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a great quote. I think it was from Richard. Richard was his first name. Wyckoff, anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, he said patience is the one thing that it separates the professionals from the amateurs in trading. You have to have patience if you're going to be a pro.
Yep. That is one of the hardest things to learn for sure. That big move up there just setting you up to short it this morning. They're not nice people. I loved that series that you had called out about the market maker that did the interviews.
Oh yeah, those are good, weren't they? From stock charts, yeah.
Yeah, and how he's actually, they're participating to make their own profits, and they're setting the levels. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. They're setting the levels. They're looking at supply and demand, so they basically can put the levels any place they want, but they have this conflict of interest because they can trade against their. I don't know what the. I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, it looks like they're just, and they can trade themselves. So in the guy's mind, he's saying, okay, well, I have to make a market. So if the market's going down a lot, should I buy here because I'm, or should I short it like everybody else to drive the market even lower before I actually step in and buy? Those are the kind of decisions you have to make.
Yeah, it's just interesting. You can see where he's like, well, I have to represent these companies and I'm making profits for them at the same time, but yet I'm still setting the market for it. So it's like, yeah, how do you not have a conflict of interest there?
Yeah, exactly.
And if he's trading his own stuff, right? That was great. I forget the name of it. We'll find it, Andre, and we'll maybe somebody has it and they can post it.
Yeah, it's got to be in my history. It might take me a couple minutes to find it.
You put it in this chat, right? Let me look over here.
Yeah, I did actually. I put it in the trading room, the real-time update service.
Yeah, there it is. The big board. Trading for his mom. Here's the first one. You should be able to find part 2 after that one. So that's the series there, Andre.
Yeah, that's good. RTY is sitting at. I've been thinking about shorting RTY. I shorted NQ this morning.
Well, that's a nice little move.
Yes, that's a very nice move. I figured it was going to be the weakest of the.
It's the only one that's negative right now. Look at that spread. 1% up on the YM and 0.5% almost down on the NQ.
Yeah, that's a big move.
Like how it paused right at the pivot. Hit it, wait, hit it, wait. So it's got to work through it. Then we got breakthrough.
Yep. Yeah, think about shorting R2R, but I'll wait for that 13. Oops.
There's the call to come to short.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the index itself, we see the same thing. Still hurting, interestingly enough.
Not on the 10-minute, and it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. It didn't, but the an MT vol is pretty low.
BOP curves dropping way off though. That's always that's a good early indicator when those drop, that
Yeah.
does happen before the volume disappears here.
Yeah, because that's the BOP is an aggregate, so the volume has been pretty strong lately.
Mark's got a question around your fib quarters and your shorting of the century lineup.
Oh yeah. So and silver. Okay, yeah, we can talk about silver a little bit too. But what I do instead of using Fibonacci, because everybody seems to be using Fibonacci, that almost I don't find them to be helpful anymore. I really don't. So what I do is I change the default on TOS to 25%, 50%, 75%. And so I'm looking at quarters. So that helps me determine strength. If it stays over 50%, that means, and that typically is like support. And it also gives me an idea. If it's over 50%, it's strong. If it's under 50%, it's weak. And when it gets down into that lower 25% and it breaks down through to a new low, I want to see how it reacts in each quarter. If it's up in the 75% and it's acting strong, it'll probably break out to the upside. If it's in the 25% or lower, below that 50% level, that means its prices are weak and it's going to break down to a new low. So I just use it as kind of a strength and weakness kind of thing. And so I used it on the Qs, and it hit it beautifully in the picture I sent. Not quite 75%, but it was in that upper quartile, but it could not bump up above that 75% level, so that showed a little bit of weakness. And I think this is, look, everybody's discounting the economic impact of what's going on right now, in my opinion. I think traders are just saying, hey, look, this is going to be great. Everybody's going to make, the money's just going to flow from the Fed. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Greg wants to know, so is the setting we can set up in TOS on autopilot these quarters? Absolutely. So if you bring up a chart that you can put fibs on, you just go into the edit function and change the fibs from the 31.8 and 618 to 25%, 50%, 75%.
Is it the time series again? I don't use them personally.
No. Yeah, that's why I don't use fibs. Everybody uses fibs, and so those levels are kind of well known ahead of time. No, if you go into
try and pull one up on the Dow here so we can see what you're talking about, but I just don't, as I say, I don't typically use them. So
yeah, so take a look at the one that looks like a percent sign. It's the O/O.
Fib retracements.
Yeah, and then go from the top to the bottom.
Oh, did it not draw that? Let me squeeze this in a little more.
Yeah, you need to get some space in between those.
All right, move this guy a second. Or I can just do it right here.
Yeah, and then just just right click on the lines there and edit properties. And then change the 236 to 2.5. And then uncheck the 3.8, keep the 0.5, and then change the, uncheck that and change the 786 to 7.5. And uncheck the rest of them. And so what I want to do is I just want to check and then hit OK. And then you can save it as a default if that's the way you want to use them on the quarters. And then just hit OK. And that'll bring up the 50%. So 50% of that drop is technically should be resistance. And if it retraces 75%, I want to see if that level holds. Typically when it hits a 75% or the 50, the 50% is the most important though, because if it can get over the 50% and close over that 50% on a regular basis, then it's going to go to the 75. And then if it closes over the 75, it'll go to 100 and probably make new highs. So I want to check and see what the strength or weakness relative to the previous move is. And so I use them. I use them more. I use them all the time. I don't use the Fibonacci's at all because everybody's watching Fibonacci's. But to me, I just want to see if it's strong or weak. So 50% is important because if it closes under that 50% level, that means weakness is coming back into the market. Can't make it over there. It's not strong enough. And when it gets up to 75, typically it'll come back to 50. And then when it gets over 75, it'll go up to 100, probably make a new high. So it'd be interesting to see what happens today because we popped over. See, we got to that 50% level. We couldn't hold it. We got there, couldn't hold it.
Hit it there, closed right on it. Then we bounced down. One day we've closed above until yesterday, second time.
Yeah, exactly. So if we hold above that 50% level today, then we'll probably go up to the 75. That's how I use them.
And so the way I placed that, guys, was first I changed my indicator or my drawing tool. As Dave said, the percent sign there, you'll see it. If I have mouse over, it says Fibonacci retracements. So you have to have that selected. Then you click once. Don't click and drag. You click once, then you move it, then you click twice. So I'll delete this and show you one more time. So I'm suddenly the teacher of this, and I don't even use it. So yeah, let's remove this guy. Delete. Remove drawing. Fibonacci. Go away. And there's another one. I got two of them there somehow.
Yeah, you duplicated it, I think.
Oh, I hit duplicate instead of remove. There we go. Okay. So now I'm back to 0. I click once, let go, move down here. So yeah, I'm going right around the top of these candles. I'm not exactly perfect, but that's how you do it. So I'm clicking once at the top, and I'm coming down to the bottom, and I click twice. Then it draws it for you. Then you right click on it, any of these lines, edit properties. And then you saw how I walked through, then you make your quarters.
Yeah, you can click right into those boxes for the coefficient and make the changes, and then unclick the other boxes so they don't show up. And you can also change the colors. So I change the colors too. I highlight the 50% level. Greg says that in the Fib training, I was taught the 50 to 61.8 is a prime level. It bounces either up or down from there, so your 50% analysis is right in line. I do like the 50% analysis. If it's above 50%, it's strong. If it's below 50%, it's weak. But how do you know where to place it? It's just the last high and low. It's just that it's like so that point all the way down to the bottom point. And this is on a daily, so I would definitely do it on a daily. The larger time frames have the most importance. You could use it on a 4-hour, but I like it on the daily.
As with anything, the more data, the larger the sample size, the more accurate it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's just math.
Yeah, you can use it on any time frame, but if you're doing short-term trading, I would imagine it would probably work okay. But I tend to be I tend to be. Oops! I just passed another level someplace. Yes, I did. But the
profit level.
Yeah.
It's down here.
Oh yeah, there we go. A little bounce there. Okay. Yeah, I'm up really nice on that NQ trade. Holy cow. That's like, it'll make my month.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might wanna.
There's right there, 87. Yeah.
87.35. Grab those profits.
Yep. That's where we're going. Okay. But any time frame will work, Andre, but I tend to be a longer term picture kind of guy, so I'm looking at the dailies and weeklies mostly.
And they're all gonna react to this 200 EMA on the ES too, so that's part of why we're getting a little bit of support here.
Yeah, and the advanced decline didn't move that much. It's still plus 1774.
Way up, yep.
Yeah, it's still really high up.
We're still at 0.79 over here.
Greg says with Fib, you draw the high, low candle, or vice versa. Yeah, weekly, daily, and hour time frames. What I was taught. Yeah, I like the weekly and the daily the most. Where did you learn that, Greg? Who did you learn about the fibs? I suppose there's lots of courses out there that teach them, but
The question is how much did they charge for that course?
yeah, just on the Fibonacci levels. Dave, what are the fractal levels? Are they similar to fib levels? I don't know. I've never used the fractals. Is there a fractal? I don't even know if there is a fractal in there.
There is the time series, there's extensions, time ratios. Go away. Thank you. Arcs. There's too many Fibonacci tools.
Yeah,
There's
there's a lot.
spiral. Fibonacci fans. Yeah, I can see why they have a class on it.
Yeah, because there's so many different ones, right? Pitchfork and cycles. We used the cycle brackets quite a bit in the volatility arbitrage early on.
Yeah, I remember you using those.
Yeah.
We've got the 15-minute cycles there.
Andre says, so I guess since you use daily, it really shows you the general direction of the market to help, yes, with swing trading. Yep, that's exactly right, Andre.
And just like everything else, right? It's not a matter of, hey, if the Fib says this, I'm doing it. It's we take it all into account, right? We
Yeah.
use all the tools that we have.
Yep, absolutely.
What does this say? What does that say? I do find interesting looking at the most recent market timer spreadsheet, you know, when the swing signal didn't turn up, that we've had a couple nice days there. So that was definitely accurate as well. Even though we're seeing the high ABS and we're expecting more volatility, just in the meantime, that was a nice clue for.
It was, yeah, for the last three days there. Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, the 27 day sum kind of met right at the 423.
Yeah.
Well, the one just, yeah, exactly right there, 424. So it was, yeah, they came together, and then that kind of gave me an indication too that we're, you know, okay, we're back to some sort of normalized trading pattern. But the ABS has remained high, and that typically only happens when the market's going to continue its decline. And so I'm very skeptical here.
I was starting to wonder too. I was going to run this by you. What do you think of this? If we do have the Fed active in the market potentially, what if they're artificially inflating some of this?
I think they are. I think they may have come in. I mean, I can't believe now. A couple of reports have been saying that retail investors have been funding trading accounts over the last month or so because I think they think this is an opportunity with this V bottom, this potential V bottom that we've had.
Sure.
Retail money has flowed back into brokerages, but it's the retail brokerages. So it's like the TD Ameritrades, it's the E-Trades and those kind of things. That's not smart money typically.
Right.
And so, you know, but I think everybody thinks that the Fed is going to be supporting the market just like they have over the last 10 years. And they might, but they're going to show up. They're going to show up in the volume figures. They're going to show up in the bullish herding because they're going to be taking the majority of the volume. And that's what we've seen. We've seen that over the last few days. But with that ABS, typically, I just don't know. I'm very, very cautious here.
It's a warning signal. That's why.
Yeah, I would just be very, very cautious. Landshark, Greg says, was the name of the company. The guy was actually a hedge fund trader for Charles Schwab. Okay. They teach using fibs, RSI, and price action. Cool.
Yeah, we're starting to build back up on your NQ. We might go positive on the signal. So I don't know if I'd wait to take your profits or not. That's your decision.
Oh, I did already.
Okay.
It was close enough to that 83.35.
Okay. I just figured I'd keep one eye on it for you.
Yeah. No, I put my buy signal down there that was kind of close enough and got triggered.
Nice.
How much did they cost you, Greg? Just
out of curiosity, can you say it was a 2 or 3?
Just curiosity. Yeah. You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
You can send a private message so everybody doesn't see it if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, and time alert too. I do have a top of the hour call, so we'll stop probably at 10 too.
Ah,
I have a call with a client.
all right. Ah, yes, Land Shark Education.
$2,500.
Jeez, I think we're underpriced. I think we're underpriced here.
We're over delivering value for the because
Just setting up these the EMAs and the person's pivots and stuff like that. I think it's got to be worth at least $2,500 just for that. Just for that.
well, that's a good clue that the launch discount will be ending this weekend. So if anybody hasn't purchased it yet, I would jump on it because Saturday is the deadline.
Yeah, you heard that, guys. Jump on that one because
I'm glad you reminded me of that.
this is good stuff. This is really good stuff.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's the MES Futures Masterclass that we're trading. Excuse me. And it's not just me that did it. We got countless people that are repeating the system. Well, I shouldn't say countless. I can count them, but there's many.
You can't. Well, you can't count them on two hands. When you get to that point, then you say you can't count.
I need my fingers and toes.
Then you need fingers and toes, or three hands.
Some nice movement on the MYM country. Yeah, absolutely. The shop says just saying. Oh yeah, that was a question. I wasn't able to be in the room yesterday, and I did see a Shama had that question. Yes, you can use this on YM, NQ, RTY. Maybe not as much because there's less volume in the Russell, but the main three, absolutely, you can use this exact same system. What I've taught you across those. So it just comes down to how many things you want to keep your eye on. I find it's easier to focus on the ES and just laser focus on that. But yeah, you could do it on the NQ contracts in the YM. Obviously, starting out with the micros on both. They are valid, and you go through the exact same setup, Asham. Then it comes down to how many things you can carry at once, and if you wanted, like if YM's hit and then ES is hit, and if you have enough margin to hold both contracts open, blah, 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 or all three. And if you want to try and manage all of them, it's enough managing one. If you get more advanced and you want to try and manage two or three, yes, the potential is there. Or if you wanted to be a specialist in the MYM only, you could apply the same logic to those contracts. It is viable for all three major indexes.
Right. Yeah. You want to be a specialist to start with anyway. You don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Markets.
And that's why the S&P 500 is one of the most liquid things. If it's not the most one, it's got to be a close second, and anything that's derived from it is.
Well, the full mini the ES contracts are the most liquid on the S&P by far, and then NQ I think is number 2, YM is like number 5 or something like that. Tim says George Gammon's latest show with Jeff Snyder talks about the Fed's intervention in the markets. Very insightful. Yeah, I like Jeff Snyder a lot.
Jeff's great.
Yeah, got really good insights. He was on about a month and a half ago, talking about the way the Fed and the Open Market Committee works, and he had some incredible insights there, especially when they started setting up swap lines with other central banks. He had some really good insights on that.
Speaking of the FOMC, don't they have another meeting? Is that tomorrow or Thursday? Tomorrow.
2 p.m. tomorrow. So, I think they're going to keep rates the same. I don't think they're going to change them because the market's up, see. So.
Let's see.
Oh, well, what are the treasuries doing? Let's take a look, because they actually don't, I mean, they only set short term. They have to follow the market. So if treasury yield curves are normalized again, then they probably won't have to do anything at all.
True.
And the Swiss National Bank this morning kept rates the same. So they're up. Yeah, they're up. They're about the same as they were. Well, yeah, they're about the same as they were at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, up from the first.
up from the first, but the second it jumped right to 0.09, and it's 0.09 now.
Yeah, it went up to 1.4. Looks like was the peak on 20 it hit.
Yeah. So they can only follow the market. The 30-year is at 1.25, which is about the same. 10-year is at 0.67, which is about the same, a little bit higher.
Yep.
And the 2-year is 0.24. See, they're all the same. So we're going to keep rates the same. My bet, anybody wants to take the other side, my bet is they're going to keep rates the same. Because if the market's not moving, if the longer term rates are not moving, they're not going to change.
Yeah, it's not in the realm of trying to justify a negative interest rate.
Not yet, anyway.
Wait till August, maybe. We'll see what happens by then.
Yeah, I forgot to talk. We got a few minutes left. I forgot to answer the other question about silver. So, have you got a silver chart, SLV or SIL?
I can get one.
There goes the ES through the lower and the EMA. Well, hitting the second EMA. Boy, price is going down before the internals. This is not good. Usually price leads. So silver, yes, and MGI. I'm not sure what's going on with MGI right now. They've been up for a few days. Today they're at 155, down a little bit, but as far as silver goes, I really like it. I think silver is going to be the winner in the silver gold ratio. The silver gold ratio is like 114, 115. It was hit 109 for a little while, and now it's around 114, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, 131 currently.
Yeah, so I think silver is really going to start to outperform when the rest of the commodity market starts to pick up. So the thing that I'm watching on that is USCI, and it's just not doing anything right now. I think we'll probably pull back a little bit maybe on silver, and then I see silver in a year or two at $100.
I was just going to say, absolutely.
Yeah, I think silver is going to do really, really well in the hyperinflation environment that we're going to get into after this deflation is done. Yeah, I can see silver $100 easily. My high target is around 500, so someplace between 500 probably within 2 to 3 years. I don't think they can keep it down. They kept it down, and the entire commodity market has been out since 2008, like you can see on that chart. Was it like 2008 sometime?
This was 2011.
Oh, 2011. So it's a little bit late. Yeah. So, yeah, we've been in a bear market, and that looks almost identical to the cryptocurrency markets. Right? It's almost identical. And so I think when we see silver start to take off, we'll see crypto start to take off. I think all the commodities will start going up, and that'll kind of signal the inflationary environment.
And yeah, it's going to be new highs. It's going to beat this.
Oh yeah, it definitely will. Yep.
Well, there's multiple ways you can get in silver, Andre. You can own physical, you can do miners or an ETF. I personally am owning physical. Everyone makes their own decisions, because at the end of the day, it's an IOU, right? So if they're going to deliver on it as your faith in that ETF and or that contract, that's why I want to own physical. But everyone has their own decisions there.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't bought any physical yet, but I will. But right now I'm using Uphold, which is Uphold is a online marketplace for cryptocurrencies and silver and gold, but they are 100% backed by silver and gold, and they're audited. Gold Silver is great. Mike Maloney is fantastic. What a great guy he is. I love watching his videos every day.
Yep. If you're not watching this guy, start.
Yeah, I mean, get his free book, download watch all the videos on YouTube. That series that he did, he's got
Secret of Money.
What is it?
The Hidden Secrets of Money.
Hidden Secrets of Money. That's right. Yeah. Yes, Uphold, Andre. It's UPHOLD. Take a look at their support links. They hold this physical silver and the physical gold for you when you buy from Uphold. And so I'm doing that now. I'll probably get into the physical eventually, but I'm not quite ready to do that yet because you need storage, right? I mean,
Yeah, but they do provide it.
They do provide storage as well. So Uphold does the storage. They do the storage.
They got it worldwide. So there's 4 major storage places: Salt Lake City, Toronto, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And then if you want it delivered to your door, you can. Make sure you have a way of protecting it, because I've heard too many stories of, yeah, put it in my safe. Yeah, they take the safe too. So it's up to you. You make your own decisions on where you want to hold it when you're buying physical. Maybe you do a little bit of both. I'm personally doing a little bit of both. And maybe I'll select all 4. Maybe I want to travel later and I want to get access to Singapore. Probably not, but it's there if you want to. I know we have members that are all over the world. So, and it's third party, so it's not their exact storage. So I like that as well. And Brinks is a good name.
Now, are you doing gold and silver, or just silver at this point?
I started with a little bit of both. I'm only doing silver currently because of the gold silver ratio.
Right.
They show that right on the front page here that Dave was talking about. You see that here too. If I go back to the main site.
And there's a fantastic, there's the gold silver ratio right there. This is the highest level the gold silver ratio has ever been in 5,000 years.
Yeah, ever.
Ever. Mike Maloney did a video yesterday, if you didn't see it yet, regarding that gold silver ratio. And he also did a full 1-hour video called the
wealth cycle.
Wealth cycle. Absolutely, highly recommended if you want to watch it.
Yes.
When the ratio is high, you want to buy silver. When the ratio is low, you want to buy gold. So it's like a rotation. It was a very, very good video. I liked it. What about Strot? I do not know what Strot is. I just did a search on Strot, but nothing came up for gold and silver. There is a George Strot who is an attorney. I don't think that's who you mean.
Question from Mark was asking about buying Eagles. Yeah, you can have different things you want. So if you want to buy rounds, you can. If you want to buy bars, you can. So they have different options on how you want to do it. Some things are more readily available, and you'll see at the top banner, it is 4 to 6 weeks right now for delivery. And there's minimums, I believe, for ordering, or maybe they took the minimums away. But yeah, you can do, so you can start low, or if you're a big boy, I mean, there's big ones you can also buy. And on the gold side, the same thing goes. When I switch to that later, you can get the gold Eagles, bars, or if you're a big boy, you can buy a 400-ounce bar. This is what they're talking about. The major investors are doing.
Yeah.
And the big players are getting the huge bars because that's some of the things that's only available. Yeah. How'd you like to buy that for $702,000?
Just, some pocket change.
Right. That's what you call walking around money right there.
That's what central banks buy.
That's your, what was the movie where they stole all the gold and they built the little cars and the bars of gold that I got?
Oh, yeah. The Italian Job.
That's it.
They lined the little Mini Coopers.
Yep. That was hilarious. He says SprotUSA.com. I have no idea.
Apemex is the other big gold silver marketplace. Haven't heard of Sprott though.
Looks like they are an actual miner, maybe.
Oh, they got silver outlook is bearish or bullish rather on the front. I think everybody's kind of bullish on silver. Anybody who knows anything, I guess, at this point. I hate it when everybody's on the same side of the trade, though.
Right? Well, yeah, it's everybody that is in your circle. You compare that to the general population, that's a different story.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. You're right.
Think about the other millions.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I know you got to run. We're getting close to the top of the hour. We bypassed your.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Well, it's because it's been too much fun.
It has been fun.
And look at how it respected that level again that we were definitely wanted to get your profits before it bounced right back off it.
It did. It did. Yeah, it's very, very nice. So, all right, guys. I'll let Dan go. He's got a card. Uphold gives you a debit card or something. Yes, it does. Actually, Uphold does have a debit card if in certain areas. So, for example, Uphold in New York State, I can't buy cryptocurrencies through Uphold, but I can buy silver and gold. But I can't. I don't know if I'm eligible for the debit card or not. Oh, look at RTY. RTY is getting crushed.
Right on it.
But right on that little that EMA. Oh, should be an interesting day, guys. Be safe out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll catch you guys on Thursday, and appreciate you coming out.
All right. Awesome. Take care, Sean. Have a good one. Bye, Dan.
Thanks, Dave.